Welcome! In this series of short videos, we will look at topics common to both the PowerBasic console and Windows compilers. Today, we will look at how the switch function can be used. In PowerBasic, you have a number of ways in which you can do something based on a decision. Some of these ways are to use the if command. If something is true, or if something equals a certain value, then specific code can be executed. The select command can also be used for this type of activity, but today we are looking at the switch command. The switch command is a function. It will take parameters and it will return a value. There are 4 different flavors of the switch command: the switch $, the switch %, and the switch AND. The switch function expects values of any data type. Switch AND expects values optimized for the long integer type. Switch $, expects values of the string type. If we look at the switch AND first of all, if we create 2 local variables, long x and long choice. If we make long x equal to -1, and we want to get the return value, in this case long choice, to be the return from our switch function. So we're using switch AND, and we're going to pass it 3 values. And in this case, the 3 values are actually going to be returns from a single function. We're populating long x initially with the value -1, and we're going to call the funValue function with that as a parameter. So if we create our new function underneath the code, our new function takes a single parameter, which is the number, as a long. It will then increment that number and return the number. So at the first iteration, long x is going to be -1 going into this function. It will be incremented by 1 to give us a value 0 returned. And switch will then look at the return of that value, in other words 0. And if that returns true, it will return the value 1. For the second iteration, long x will be incremented again, so it will now be equal to the value 1. And if that returns true, then it will return the value 2. And finally, we'll increment the long x once more, and if that returns true, then we'll return the value of 3. Once the switch command has finished executing, it will return the value in this variable, and we will push that out to the log. So let's see what we get. So it has returned the value 2. So the value this function returns at this point is the value 1, which is effectively not 0 and therefore true. The major advantage in using the switch function is that it will only execute each of these expressions up until the point where one of them returns the value true. As soon as that one executes and returns true, then no other expression will be evaluated. Therefore, if you have 50 expressions on this list and number 2, the second expression, returns true, then the remaining expressions will not even be evaluated. So let's look at something a little more complex. So let's say we create an array which has 5 elements. This is an array of numbers, and we're populating that array with 5 numbers: 5, 10, 15, 40, and 50. And we're going to select one of those elements. We're going to select the 4th element, which is 40, and we want to use the switch command to return some information. So we can code the switch command up like this. So we're passing a series of parameters to this function, the first one of which is the value 40, because it is the 4th element of this particular array, which is 40. We're then testing to see if that value is less than or equal to 5. If that is true, then we will return the word low. If the value was less than or equal to 10, we will return medium. If it was equal to or less than 40, we would return the word high, and if it was any greater than 40, we would return very high. So since this is going to push the information out to our log file, if we run that now, so we would see it would populate the word high. It's returning the word high because the value of 40 is true in this expression. The value is equal to less than or equal to 40. Now if we populate another variable called long number and we set that value equal to 5, we can extend our switch command to encompass this new variable. Now you can see by looking at this, we know that the value here is always going to be 40 because we've picked the fourth element. The long number has been populated as the value 5. So two of these expressions will return true. This one will return true because the value in the array is less than or equal to 40. This one will also return true because long number equals 5. In some programming languages, the value you would get returned from the switch command was the last one that tested true. In PowerBasic, it will be the first one which returns true, as in all other expressions will not be evaluated if one of these returns true. So if we run this now, we would still get high coming out, which we do. This means the switch command is very optimized for speed. So regardless of how many expressions we have on this list, as soon as one of those expressions, the very first one, tests and returns true, then no other expression is even evaluated. Therefore, the application does not waste time calculating and checking things that it does not require to. Therefore, if you have this test within a large, for example, for next loop, perhaps looping 1,000,000 times, then this would execute at maximum speed. So the switch command is a very useful mechanism for doing if comparisons. Hopefully you will find this useful in your own applications. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.